Hey, did you see what happened with the New India Cooperative Bank in Mumbai? It looks like the Reserve Bank of India, the RBI, has taken some pretty serious action.
Oh, yeah, I saw something about that. The RBI superseded their board of directors, right? For 12 months, I think. What exactly does that mean, though?
Well, it means the RBI basically stepped in and took over management of the bank. They appointed an administrator, Shreekant, who used to be with the State Bank of India, to run things for the next year.
Okay. And they also appointed a committee of advisors to help this Shreekant guy out, right? Ravindra Sapra and Abhijeet Deshmukh. I wonder why the RBI felt the need to do this.
Apparently, it's due to certain material concerns related to poor governance standards within the bank. Things not being run quite right, perhaps.
Ah, gotcha. So it's like if a company's board isn't steering the ship properly, the RBI steps in to get things back on course, huh?
Exactly. Think of it as the RBI being the financial world's equivalent of a maritime authority that boards a vessel when they spot the ship headed towards dangerous rocks.
That's a good analogy. So, what else did the RBI do? I saw something about directions issued under Section 35A of the Banking Regulation Act. What's that all about?
That's where things get a bit more restrictive. Under that section, the RBI issued directions that put some pretty tight controls on what the bank can do.
Like what specifically? I mean, can they still operate normally?
Not really, no. From February 13th, 2025, they can't grant or renew loans, make investments, borrow funds, or accept fresh deposits without the RBI's written approval. It's a pretty big deal.
Wow. So basically, the bank's operations are severely limited. No new loans, no new investments. That sounds like it could really hurt their business.
It's definitely going to have an impact. And get this, they can't even allow withdrawals from savings or current accounts, except they can set off loans against deposits.
Wait, what? People can't withdraw their own money? That sounds really bad for the depositors.
I mean, wow, that's really restrictive. Hopefully, that is a very short term measure,
I agree.
right? But the RBI did say they can incur expenses for essential items like employee salaries, rent, and electricity bills. So at least they can keep the lights on and pay their staff, but not much more.
Well, that's something, I guess. It sounds like the RBI is really trying to prevent the situation from getting any worse. Almost like if the bank was sick, it would be like putting it in intensive care.
Precisely. The goal here is to protect the interests of the depositors. That's the RBI's main concern right now. And if you like deep dives like this into financial news, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
Absolutely. So, what about those depositors? Are they just out of luck?
Not entirely. The eligible depositors are entitled to receive deposit insurance up to 5 lakh rupees from the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, or DICGC.
Okay, so there's some protection there. Is that automatic or do depositors have to apply for it?
They have to submit a willingness form and go through a verification process. The RBI press release suggests contacting the bank for more information or checking the DICGC website.
Got it. So it's not a complete loss for depositors, but there's definitely some hoops to jump through. I wonder, does this mean the RBI is going to cancel the bank's license?
That's the thing. The RBI is trying to make it clear that issuing these directions doesn't automatically mean the banking license is cancelled. The bank will continue to operate subject to these restrictions while the RBI monitors the situation.
So there's still a chance for the bank to turn things around then.
Exactly. The RBI said they'll take necessary actions, including modifying the directions, depending on how things go.
It sounds like a pretty fluid situation. How long are these directions in place for?
Initially, they're in force for 6 months from February 13th, 2025, but they are subject to review. So the RBI could change things depending on how the bank's financial position evolves.
It sounds like the RBI is really trying to balance protecting depositors with giving the bank a chance to recover.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation. They need to ensure people's money is safe, but they also don't want to unnecessarily shut down a bank if it can be avoided.
I guess that's why you have all those advisors in place as well to help out.
Exactly. It isn't an easy job to be done alone.
So, to recap, the RBI has taken over the management of New India Cooperative Bank due to governance concerns, placed restrictions on its operations, and assure depositors that their money is insured up to a certain limit. Is that a fair summary?
That's a perfect summary. It's situations like these that remind us how important it is to choose banks wisely and keep an eye on their financial health.
Absolutely. And it also highlights the role the RBI plays in safeguarding the financial system and protecting depositors. It's easy to forget they're there until something like this happens.
Exactly. They're like the silent guardians of our banking system.
Right. And this situation also reminds us of the importance of deposit insurance. It's a safety net that can provide some peace of mind, especially during uncertain times.
Definitely. Knowing that your money is protected up to 5 lakh rupees can make a big difference.
So, what do you think the future holds for New India Cooperative Bank? Do you think they'll be able to turn things around?
It's hard to say for sure. It really depends on how effectively the administrator and the committee of advisors can address the underlying issues and improve the bank's financial position. The actions from the RBI do definitely help with this.
True, and it also depends on whether the RBI is willing to ease the restrictions it has imposed. If the bank can't resume normal operations, it's going to be tough to recover.
Absolutely. It's a delicate balancing act. And it's a good reminder that the banking sector is constantly evolving and that risks are always present. Disclaimer, we advise investors to check with certified experts before taking any investment decisions.
Very true. It'll be interesting to see how this situation unfolds over the next few months. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it.
Me too. It's a reminder that even in a regulated industry like banking, things can still go wrong.
Well, let's hope for the best for the depositors and the employees of the bank. It's never good to see a financial institution struggling.
Agreed. It's a tough situation all around. So I guess we just have to wait and see what happens next. What do you think? Will this situation lead to increased scrutiny of other cooperative banks?
That's a good question. It might,